platform where people at any time go and meet.
Everybody's got their phone out and
I
they're doing
reckon bars in
We
Brighton.
met in Canberra through the University.
Why can't you just meet people on Tinder like a normal person?
Trying to hang out with my friends.
The way to meet
I
people.
used Tinder, and it was a bit
People
iffy.
sometimes would ghost
We
me.
live together on campus here at Fenner Hall.
Yeah. Or we're just friends.
Using social media easier because they don't actually have to talk to people.
Yeah. So we met in Mexico City and via Tinder, and we went out to the movies, and that was a bit of a drama in meeting up.
I'm in a relationship. So I met my partner through a club that we're both a member of. We're friends for quite a while, and eventually I just invited her around to a party I was having at my place, and things sort of kicked off from there, and then a couple of months later we're in a relationship.
Well, basically, we were both working at the same premises, and at that stage, Lynn was involved with the factory in a laboratory sense, and I was actually at that stage I was involved in an engineering sense.
So I'm living with my boyfriend. We met on Tinder like 2 years ago. It's pretty okay.
It's not an awful lot to tell.
I don't remember meeting her. We were in primary school together, infant school. So it's been a long time.
It's 1965.
Yeah, that'd be-
Yes. And then Roger left for Papua New Guinea. He had a position and left in 1966, so it was a relationship by mail until he came back on leave 2 years later.
Dating in Canberra can be usually a little bit dry, I reckon. But sometimes you find random opportunities here and there, I guess.
Yeah, it's about the same. Dated someone for a bit, but I'd say the Canberra scene's a bit grim sometimes.
I think Canberra as well, like people stick with the people they've grown up with. A lot of people went to school in Canberra, then they go to uni in Canberra, and they all kind of stick together. And so it's hard to meet new people.
I guess like dating in Canberra is kind of just like meeting people. Like it's just another way of meeting people.
So prior to meeting my now girlfriend, I had dabbled in the tumultuous online world of online dating. So I experimented with, I believe it was Bumble. I found the experience of Bumble to be a bit too chaotic for me. It was hard to feel energized to try my hardest with each person I talked to really put yourself out there time and time again was a bit too exhausting of an experience for me to really find it too rewarding.
So I sort of came out of a long-term 2-year relationship. I met my ex-girlfriend then at work, but recently I've gone on to Tinder and Bumble, and I found pretty good success there. I like that more because you sort of don't want to mess up the relationships you have in the workplace or in schools because you got to see those people again. If you get like rejected or things go sour, you have to see those people. Whereas like online, it's like doesn't go well. You're not gonna see them again. If you know what I mean?
For me, it was more a case of that I was working all day and I had long days in the office, so I didn't really have time to meet people. So it was easier to just meet people in Tinder.
I reckon hands down in person. Yeah, I don't like the idea that you talk to someone heaps online and then you meet them in person. Like I find it very jarring in the sense of like you kind of know this person but you haven't met them and socialized with them in person. Yeah.
I think like probably in person, like just the fact that you know a few people and then through mutual friends, you'll meet a lot more people as well, and you realise that they're friends with friends that you also know. So I don't know. I'd probably say in person.
Yeah. As well as it's kind of probably a little bit awkward meeting up with someone that you met on Tinder when you go out. So it's probably a bit better to bump into them first. Yeah. Probably I'm too conservative, and back
No
over
communication.
50 years ago it just wasn't heard of and wasn't the thing. You were more likely to meet at a dance or something like that. Yeah.
I went on Tinder because I just broke up with my boyfriend, and I was like, well, let me meet other people. And my friends told me, oh, if you go on Tinder, you'll meet lots of people. So I did, and I did meet lots of people.
I think you can meet people anywhere, doing anything, regardless of whether it's in class or extracurricular activities, sport, just night out at Mooseheads, classic. Yeah, pretty much whatever you're doing. If you talk to people, there's a good chance that anything can happen.
And I feel like also going with like groups of people, because you can kind of meet mutual friends and like kind of expand your social circles in that sense. So like regardless of where you are, if you're with others, I feel like you can meet people easily.
I probably wouldn't want something like a cinema or something that would force you into a conversation, say at a cafe where you have to be across from someone and you're probably expected to make conversation. But I also wouldn't pick something like a cinema where you're sitting in a room and don't get a chance to chat. Maybe something like an activity where it takes your mind off actually having to focus on what the next thing to say is. You can have some fun and take your mind off instead of worrying about what you're going to say. You can say, like, if you were bowling, for instance, you can make fun of the game and have a little contest out of it. Or something like a walk where you don't have to worry about constantly being in front of the other person, and it's okay to look away and have those silences. So something like a walk or something like an activity.
It's hard to meet people in real life if you're not the type of person to go out to a bar or anything. And from my experience, going out to bars is so packed all the time. Maybe this is a Canberra thing, maybe it's universal. I can't hear anyone say anything. You're just screaming into each other's ears. I don't enjoy that, and I think the beauty of Tinder, I thought about it a little bit. It's sort of like you're approaching 100 people at a bar, because you're swiping, and then the ones that are gonna say yes to you in the bar are the ones that are also gonna swipe you online. So it's the same thing, but it's just more efficient. If you know what I mean? That's what I think anyway.
I think as well it's kind of become the status quo for dating. Like almost now if someone just approached you in a bar, you'd be like, that's weird. Why can't you just meet people on Tinder like a normal person?
I'm trying to hang out with my friends, go away.
Yeah.
I've always found it a bit hard to use the online world to actually make that leap to the physical connection, because it's just too difficult to convey who you are, I find, in that online world, and to really show people this is what I can give in a relationship. Whilst meeting someone physically, obviously you're not meeting them with the intention of pursuing a relationship. So it's pretty rare that you go to a meet and greet for creating a relationship or something. You're meeting people in a more relaxed, casual setting. There's no expectation of it going anywhere. There's no stakes. You're just meeting someone as a friend. And I find that shift of perspective allows for more natural relationships to be created easier. Whilst in the online world, you are there and you're both there because you think this might lead to a relationship. And I've always found that to be the fundamental flaw of online dating, because that expectation I find almost hangs over your head constantly. You think this needs to become something or I'm wasting my time. And there's so many people out there that you just don't want to waste your time.
It's also a reflection on people becoming isolated. You walk around and everybody's got their phone out and they're doing this. They're not sort of listening or looking or talking to people. You see people out in the mornings when they're walking their dogs and they've got the phone out, they've got the earphones in. They're isolated from, so suddenly they've had to replace that direct contact.
That's probably because everyone just got super busy lives these days. I don't know, sometimes dating doesn't fit into schedules of work life. And then I think it just comes back to that work-life balance. Like, if you're working 9 to 5 and then you've got something to do in the afternoon, it's really hard to fit in all that. So I think...
And even sports and things like that, it's a little bit harder if you don't have time. So I guess it's always there, yeah.
Yeah, it's accessibility, just so much easier, but it's whether you want to put in that effort, I guess.
Yeah.
Aww. Need to finish it off.
There we go.
Oh dear. You can edit that as you need to.